What up YouTube, Nathan Heightz here. Welcome to my channel. Bienvenidos a mi canal de YouTube. And today I'm going to be telling you guys how it was living with a face full of tattoos. So real quick, for some credibility, I'm going to post this picture here. This is me at the ripe young age of about 19, 20 years old with my face and neck already completely covered in tattoos. Check it out. Now, I was exposed to tattooing at a very young age. At the age of 14, one of my uncles, who was about 2 years older than me, did a tattoo of my initials on the side of one of my fingers. I believe it was this finger here. And right now you can only see about 2 little dots. The tattoo only lasted a few weeks, and it was done with a tattoo machine that one of my uncles in Mexico actually made for my uncle when he went and visited him. So he brought back this machine. He tattooed himself, he tattooed me, and yeah, it was my first exposure. I would say that that probably piqued my interest. Later on, I had an uncle who lived with us who ended up going to prison, and he left all of his stuff behind when he went, and we went through some of his stuff and we found tattoo magazines. So from there I was into it. You know, I would look at all the magazines, I'd start trying to copy some of the drawings, and by the age of 16 it was looking like I wasn't going to be pursuing school and education. Oh, how things change. Basically, I had convinced my mother, who was trying to get on my good side, to buy me some tattoo machines. And she did. She bought me some. I believe it was for my birthday, or it might have been for Christmas. So at the age of 16, she had bought me all the stuff I needed to do tattoos, and with the only stipulation that I don't tattoo my face. So that didn't last very long. But anyways, I started tattooing all my friends, I started tattooing myself, and I realized that I sucked ass at it. I did do a couple visible tattoos, like over here on my arm and whatnot, that didn't age very well, we'll say that. And I ended up selling the machines for a couple $100, partying out, and moving on with my life. By the age of 18, my uncle, who had gone to prison, had gotten out, and an opportunity presented itself, and I decided, hey, I'm going to apprentice under this guy. And I started getting back into tattooing. I reached out to him. He was doing a lot better. He was living a lot different lifestyle. He had done a few years this time around, and basically he was working at a tattoo shop, and he said, yeah, sure, I'll apprentice you. So at the age of 18, I started hanging out in the tattoo shop, and I started getting more and more visible tattoos, right? He actually did this arm for me. He didn't do that one. One of my friends did that one when I was young, but he didn't do this one either. But anyways, he started doing some of these tattoos on me. I started getting more and more visible tattoos on my arms, and yeah, he stopped working at that tattoo shop, and I stopped apprenticing under him. And at this point I decided, hey, I'm gonna get myself some tattoo machines. I got myself some tattoo machines, and I started pursuing tattooing on my own. I started tattooing from the house, doing what they call scratching, right? So I did a lot of horrible tattoos at first, but slowly but surely I started making some progress. I started gaining some clientele. I started making a name for myself. I started having little beefs with people at tattoo shops who would comment on my Instagram talking a bunch of trash. I would do the same, and basically I started getting my name out there. At one point I actually had an Instagram with over 10,000 subscribers, and I'm going to post some of my work right here so you guys can see it. So check it out. I mean, it's not perfect. This is actually when I was already started working at a shop, but my tattoo career only lasted a few years, right? It wasn't perfect, but yeah, I started tattooing. So yeah, by the time I was about 20 years old, I was already working in shops. It took about maybe a year and a half. By this time I already had a couple face tattoos. So yeah, that's the background, the purpose of this video, what it was like living with face tattoos. Given all of the circumstances of my life, it was kind of a natural progression. The people I was around didn't really look down upon it. In fact, a lot of people that I was around already had face tattoos, so it was rather accepted. Of course, people outside of our circle, it was an issue. I would say I never thought I would have to pursue another job, so I didn't really, I didn't think that far ahead, because I thought, hey, I'm going to tattoo the rest of my life. I was living the life of a quote-unquote rock star, a partying lifestyle, having a lot of fun, staying out, staying in, doing whatever I wanted basically, and yeah, just living that kind of pirate's life, you know. Everywhere I go, I'd get looks from people, men and women. The men would mostly, it would either be intrigue, or they'd ask me a question, or sometimes, you know, some of the gangbangers out there would try to act all hard and you know, try to start some stuff with me, but I wasn't really about that gangbanger lifestyle. I kind of knew how to diffuse the situations, and I would always try to turn it into, hey, but you should come get a tattoo, man. So, so I'd always try to turn it into a money-making situation. So for me personally, I didn't really run into any issues with that aspect. With the police, I would get stopped here and there. They would ask me questions. Generally, I didn't have anything illegal on me, so I was always able to walk away. The only times I ever really ran into real problems was when I was having a bad day or in a bad mood, and I would really give the police an attitude or something of that nature, and it would kind of cause the situation to escalate. I must say that I did run into issues with older people, grandmas, grandpas. They would always have something negative to say, a dirty look, something of that nature, which is understandable. I never looked down on them. In fact, I probably provoked them a little bit with some of my facial gestures I would make back, but I mostly looked at it as a joke and I didn't really care. Now, women love face tattoos. Plain and simple. You can, any woman who says that they don't, fine, like, that's your opinion. At the end of the day, I don't really think women know what they like and don't like until they try it. Like most people, right? I know I didn't have any issues meeting women who are into me. I will just leave it at that. And I think mostly it's just this sense of intrigue. I mean, also I was a tattoo artist. That probably helped. Everybody loves you when you're a tattoo artist. Everybody wants to be your friend. Of course I say love like this and friend like this. Everybody wants a tattoo, right? Most people around my age wanted a tattoo. And for someone who was living that life already, who had the skills to produce tattoos, I was somebody that a lot of people wanted to be around and wanted to converse with. A couple years into my tattooing career, because of my dedication to my craft and my constant drawing and tattooing and working, etc., I started developing wrist pain, which was like quick onset, and from there I started running into real life problems. I quickly was not able to tattoo anymore. I started going to the doctors a lot. I still had insurance under one of my parents, my dad, and I would go to the doctors again and again and again trying to get this wrist pain figured out. I had to take time off of work, and the doctors were never really able to figure it out. They thought it was carpal tunnel, thought it was tendonitis. At the end they kind of settled on tendonitis, but at the end of the day they really didn't really know what to do, and to this day I still haven't found anything to help my wrist, and I had to leave my craft. It was physically impossible for me to do a tattoo without having sharp pains just shooting down my wrist, down to my elbow, pain in my fingers, my grip. Any kind of fine motor movement like this would have a lot of pain, and yeah, this is when the real life problem started, right? Because now I was faced with the proposition or the prospect of having to work a regular job and having to interact with people from, you know, the contemporary mainstream lifestyle. And from here I started running into some issues. I would apply to a lot of jobs, I would search out a lot of jobs, and I was not able to find absolutely anything, right? So I thought about becoming a piercer, but I knew there wasn't very much money in that, and really I fell into a depression, and life got hard. No jobs. People look at you like, what the fuck are you doing with your life? At least if I was able to tattoo, I could say, oh, I'm a tattoo artist, and people would kind of give me the benefit of the doubt in that sense. So at this point, I'm just this guy with a bunch of face tattoos, and I was kind of viewed as a delinquent, right? And I would say my attitude began to match this because I was feeling anxious and depressed. I did have a child, or I do have a child that I have to take care of, and I didn't really have any skills other than tattooing. Yeah, I by luck, by chance, I ended up getting a job in treatment, addiction treatment, and that I found a way to make it work. So for people out there thinking that they'll have absolutely no chance to get another job, there are fields out there that will take you where you can make an impact and you can make a career out of it. And for people with face tattoos who don't do drugs, sorry, I got caught up looking at my beard. For people with face tattoos that don't do drugs, who try to live a clean lifestyle, there's always that option, okay guys? But you will run into problems looking for jobs. That's just an obvious thing. You will receive bad looks from older people. You will receive extra attention from gang members, and you will receive a little extra attention from the police. I would say in general, the main issue are the older people who just look down on you. Sometimes people will give me dirty looks or go, like make noises like that when you're in line behind them in Walmart or whatever, and you definitely will have trouble finding a job unless you're very smart and you know where to look. Of course, you can also work in construction as well. That's something that I had done in the past as well when I had visible tattoos. So there are fields out there, okay guys? Now I do want to add this and put this out there about my tattoo removal, because I know a lot of people are going to ask. I did have a hookup to get face tattoo removal while working at one of the shops I was working at. At first I was removing this arm, but I quickly told him to switch to my neck and face to do the tattoo removal, and I just kind of played it off like I was still working there even though I wasn't, and I just continued to go for about a year. So I got about six to 8 treatments during that time. Basically that company shut down, and I hit up some of my contacts within the tattoo industry to find someone who did tattoo removal, because believe it or not, tattoo removal companies and tattoo companies work together, because basically the tattoo removal companies need tattoo artists to refer people there in order to basically do cover-up tattoos. You can say, look, if you do a couple sessions of tattoo removal, this cover-up will look way better, I suggest you do that. And that's how the partnership works between the tattoo removal companies and the tattoo companies. Basically they would do some removal on the artist, and the artist would refer people to them. So I kind of abused that system a little bit. After that company shut down, I contacted people I knew, and I found a guy who was doing tattoo removal from his house. I won't say any names, but he worked as a professional, and he had the professional equipment. He knew what he's doing, and from there he would do a session on me about every month and a half, and maybe a little fewer, right? Maybe probably every month. And over the next couple of years, we continued to do this tattoo removal. And I haven't gotten a session in about 8 months. I want to show you guys some of this real quick, so I'm going to take this off the tripod. And I haven't had a session in about 8 months. You can still see over my eyebrow the tattoo. It's very light, right? Can't really see it. This whole side of my face used to be covered. I'm not sure if you can see it. And my neck, you can still kind of see it down there. See? Put you back on the tripod. But it's obviously nothing like it used to be. So with that, guys, thank you for watching this video. I hope you had some useful information in review. Yes, obviously you get extra attention. You get a lot of extra attention from females, some extra attention from the police, some extra attention from male gang members, and a lot of negative attention in regards to older people. And you will definitely have difficulty finding a job in any kind of mainstream or professional world. With that, guys, thanks for watching. Subscribe to my channel for more videos. I do videos on language learning, a lot of videos in Spanish, and videos on tattoo related subjects. Suscríbanse y nos vemos pronto. Adiós, amigos.